Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. I am not asking you to listen today. I am warning you. Do not dare swipe away from this message. What I am about to expose was sealed in the courts of heaven until this exact second. You are standing at the most dangerous intersection of your life right now, and the enemy has set a massive trap disguised as your original destiny. You have been crying out in the dark. You keep asking why everything is taking so long. You wonder why your life feels completely stalled while everyone else moves forward. I need you to stay until the very end of this message. I am going to reveal exactly why the Creator had to tear up your original plan to save your life. If you leave now, you walk back onto the battlefield without your armor. Take a deep breath and anchor your spirit to my voice. That quiet exhaustion you have been carrying in your bones is real. It is the kind of tired that sleep cannot fix. You have spent the last few months wondering why you feel so drained. The atmosphere around you feels incredibly heavy. You want to isolate yourself from everyone and just disappear for a while. You thought you were failing. You thought this heavy feeling was just earthly sadness. You thought you were losing your mind because no matter how hard you pray, the doors remain shut. But I am here to reframe your reality today. That is not ordinary sadness. That is intense spiritual discernment. Your spirit has been working overtime in the unseen realm. It is detecting a massive shift in your timeline that is happening right now. The delay you are experiencing is not a punishment. The stagnation is not because you made a wrong turn. People look at you and wonder why you are still waiting. They judge your stillness because they do not understand your calling. You have watched friends step into their blessings while your hands remain empty. And in the quiet moments, you actually started to doubt your own divine worth. Stop dismissing your inner knowing. You were born with a spiritual sensitivity that makes you different. Because of this calling, you cannot walk the easy path. The world tells you to push harder and force things to happen. But heaven operates on a completely different frequency. Your physical body is exhausted because it is trying to process a supernatural recalibration. You are being rewired. Heaven intercepted your path today to give you the exact explanation for this agonizing wait. You did not find this message by chance. The algorithm did not bring you here. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth. If this resonates with your spirit, type 444 in the comments below. Let it be a physical sign of your agreement with heaven. You have always been the cycle breaker for your family. You are the one who carries the heavy burdens so others do not have to. You are the emotional sponge for every broken person who crosses your path. But right now, you have nothing left to give. Your well is completely dry. You are staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning wondering when your turn will come. I hear your silent cries. But let me tell you the profound truth that most people miss entirely. The silence of heaven is not an absence of love. The closed doors were never meant to reject you. God isolated you to protect your inner architecture from frequencies that could not travel with you. The enemy wants you to believe you have been forgotten. He whispers lies into your mind to make you sabotage your own faith. Do not let your mind wander right now. Lock your attention here. You think the delay is ruining your plan, but you do not realize that your original plan was leading you straight into a snare. The enemy knew exactly where you were going. He studied your timeline and planted counterfeit connections along your route. He set up situations designed to drain your light and steal your anointing. That is why everything suddenly stopped working. That is why the relationship failed and the opportunity vanished. Heaven looked down and saw the ambush waiting for you, and the Most High loved you too much to let you walk into a slaughter. He reached down and violently tore up the blueprint you were following. He brought your life to a grinding halt to shield you. You cried over the pieces of that shattered plan. You grieved the loss of things you thought were meant for you, but you could not see the hidden fangs behind those temporary blessings. The delay is your rescue mission. It is an emergency evacuation from a timeline that would have destroyed your soul. You are not stuck. You are being securely hidden in his hand. And this brings us to a crucial turning point. You are not just a regular human trying to survive a difficult season. You are a breakthrough prophet operating in hostile territory. The warfare against your mind is intense because your future terrifies the darkness. The enemy fights you this hard because he knows what happens when you finally wake up. You are not a victim of bad luck. You are a demonstrated warrior of light. The enemy saw your star rising before you even knew your own name. He knew you were the cycle breaker for your bloodline, and he had to construct a massive maze to keep you wandering in circles forever. But heaven stepped in and ruined his trap. The delay was actually a divine quarantine. God had to separate you from the counterfeits. You mourned the loss of people who were secretly assigned to drain your light. You cried over closed doors that led straight to spiritual prisons. Your frustration is completely valid, but your sight is limited while heaven sees the entire board. There is a specific reason your mind feels so foggy right now. It is not a clinical issue or a permanent flaw. You are under a calculated attack from the unseen realm. In just a moment, I will expose the exact hidden agreement the enemy is using against you. But first, I need to be completely transparent with you today. I refuse to build suspense just to sell you a secret at the end. I am naming the solution right now so you can decide whether to stay for the full picture. Let me be very direct. What we just discussed about your exhausted mind is a real frequency block. Your spiritual antenna is jammed by earthly noise, but a physical tool exists for your restoration. A neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake mapped this exact struggle. He built a protocol for exactly the kind of healing this season is asking of you. It is called the Genius Song. It uses specialized brain entrainment audio to bypass the noise and reactivate your dormant gamma frequency. It literally tunes your mind back to the divine channel. If your spirit already tells you this is the tool you need, I will not hold you back. The door is waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. You can step through it right now. But if you want the full context, do not rush. Stay with me for the rest of this message because the attack on your mind goes much deeper. Let us look at what the enemy is really doing. He cannot touch your immortal soul, so he relentlessly attacks your nervous system instead. He wants to keep you trapped in a low survival frequency of fear and anxiety. He knows that when a chosen one operates in gamma, massive miracles happen automatically. You stop chasing blessings and start magnetizing them. The world demands that you push through the pain. Society tells you to work harder and force your way to the top. But that is a deceptive trap designed to keep you exhausted. Heaven does not require your sweat. It requires your absolute obedience and your stillness. The more you struggle in the flesh, the more tangled you become. Your power is in your peace. Look back at your childhood for a moment. You used to have a brilliant intuition. You knew things before they happened. You felt the magic of the universe running through your veins. But around the age of 7, society began to shut that divine connection down. Science calls it the decline effect. But spiritually, it was the enemy stealing your most lethal weapon. They taught you to constantly doubt your own inner voice. They labeled your deep empathy as being too sensitive. They convinced you that your divine imagination was just a childish distraction, and you learned to shrink yourself to fit into ordinary rooms so people would accept you. You put on a mask of survival, and underneath it, the giant inside you went to sleep. Take a deep breath and stay with me right here. The isolation you are feeling now is the incubator for your awakening. God is violently stripping away every false identity you adopted to survive in the matrix. He is forcing you to sit in the quiet. He is making you so uncomfortable in the wilderness that you will never settle for a counterfeit relationship again. Your family line is counting on your obedience. The generational curses stop entirely with your ultimate breakthrough. You are not just fighting for your own financial freedom. You are fighting for the absolute liberation of your children and their children. The weight of this kingdom assignment is immense. That is exactly why your physical body feels so heavy. But here is the magnificent truth heaven wants you to know. The waiting room is about to open. The preparation phase is almost complete. You have survived the crushing isolation. You have endured the painful tearing up of your earthly plans. Now heaven is writing a completely new timeline for you, and it is far more glorious than anything you could have orchestrated yourself. I need you to understand how incredibly close you are. The enemy is throwing everything at you because you are on the very edge of glory. He is trying to create a massive cloud of confusion. He wants you to give up right before the promised miracle manifests in the physical realm. Do not let him win this battle. Anchor yourself to this truth. You are the plan itself. Look at David in the ancient scriptures. He was anointed as a king while he was just a boy, but he did not immediately step into his kingdom. He was forced to wait in the silent wilderness for years. God was not punishing him. Heaven was building his inner architecture. He had to learn how to fight the lion before he could face a giant. The wilderness was never a grave, it was a divine incubator. You are walking through that exact same spiritual desert right now. And just like David, your current isolation is preparing you to carry a massive weight of glory. The enemy wants you to look at your empty hands and feel ashamed. But your empty hands mean God is about to fill them. I need you to pause and do something incredibly important. Hit the like button right now. Do not do it for this channel. Do it so this exact message can reach another chosen one who is struggling in the dark. Someone out there is crying today because they feel completely abandoned. Your simple action will send this spiritual lifeline to their screen. Now we must go much deeper. I promise to tell you exactly what the enemy is using against you. It is a hidden agreement in your subconscious mind. You have secretly agreed with the lie that you are not worthy of an easy breakthrough. You believe you must suffer endlessly to earn your blessings. But that is a counterfeit contract authored by darkness. You have allowed the enemy to convince you that struggle is your permanent identity. You wear your exhaustion like a twisted badge of honor. But heaven never asked you to be a perpetual martyr. You were meant to be a victorious king or queen. The darkness tricked you into accepting the crumbs when your father owns the entire kingdom. This hidden agreement is the exact reason why your life feels so stuck. You are subconsciously blocking your own miracle. Because every time heaven tries to hand you a blessing, you push it away. You think you are protecting yourself from disappointment, but you are actually rejecting the divine inheritance that was secured for you before you were born. It is time to shatter that demonic contract forever. We are reaching the most critical revelation of this entire message. I promise to tell you exactly which plan God had to violently tear up. It was the plan where you settled for a counterfeit love. It was the timeline where you accepted a mediocre job just to survive and pay the bills. God looked down and saw you shrinking your magnificent soul. He watched you dim your brilliant light to make other people comfortable. You were walking straight into a life of quiet desperation. The enemy had perfectly positioned energy vampires along that path to slowly drain your anointing, and you were too kind and too gentle to fight them off. So the Most High intervened with absolute authority. He did not ask for your permission. He wrecked your earthly plans to save your eternal destiny. The sudden breakup was your rescue. The job loss was a divine extraction. He pulled you out of the burning building before the roof could collapse on your head. You thought you lost everything, but you did not lose anything that belonged in your future. You only lost the heavy chains that were holding you back. You are not a failure for starting over. You are a cycle breaker who just survived a major spiritual assassination attempt. The enemy is terrified because his best trap totally failed to destroy you. You are still standing here today. This is the massive climax of your waiting season. The old blueprint is gone, and the new one is activating right now. You are no longer required to fight the battles of everyone around you. Release the heavy burden you were never meant to carry. You are not a spiritual sponge for toxic people anymore. You are a vessel for absolute divine glory. You have been apologizing for your power for way too long. You shrunk yourself to fit into rooms that were never designed to hold your magnitude. But today that lie burns to the ground. You are not too much for the world. They were simply too small for your rare anointing. Stop hiding your supernatural gifts and step into the blazing light. God is handing you the keys to a completely new dimension. He tore up the old plan because you are not meant to follow a normal path. You are the plan itself. He did not create a plan first and then create you to fit inside it. He created you, and the magnificent plan formed perfectly around you. Your very presence shifts the atmosphere. The demons tremble when you finally realize who you are. You are a celestial warrior operating in enemy territory, and your season of being hidden in the shadows is officially over. Heaven is sounding the trumpet for your glorious elevation. The confusion is clearing from your mind. Your dormant gamma frequency is waking up to receive the ultimate miracle. Take a moment to let the dust settle in your mind right now, because we have uncovered a profound amount of spiritual truth today. You finally understand why your earthly life was brought to a devastating halt. The sudden tearing apart of your original plan was a violent but necessary rescue mission. You were being shielded from the counterfeits that were quietly hunting your light, and you now know exactly who you are beneath the survival mask. You do not need to grieve the old path anymore. You are a demonstrated warrior of light. The agonizing confusion is over. The endless questioning of your own divine worth is permanently finished. Heaven has officially cleared your timeline for the true harvest to begin, and your job now is incredibly simple and requires no physical struggle. You do not need to figure out the exact steps of tomorrow. You only need to walk boldly through the doors that are already opening in front of you. Remember earlier in this message, when I mentioned a specific physical tool, I told you there was a way to bypass the earthly noise and tune your mind back to the divine channel. Now it is time to walk through exactly what this means for your daily life. You were born with a majestic frequency. As a child, you operated naturally in gamma, but the harsh conditioning of this modern matrix forced your brain to dim that light. It is time to reclaim your original design. I recently heard about a 43-year-old teacher in Texas. She spent a whole decade pouring her soul into everyone else while feeling completely stuck in her own life. Her brain felt like a massive engine running on empty fumes, but she found the exact tool we are discussing today. And after just 3 weeks of quiet alignment, her entire reality shifted. Brilliant ideas began flowing naturally. She made a massive life decision in a single morning without any fear, and the heavy fog was completely lifted. This is not a mystical illusion or a temporary emotional high. Scientists at MIT and Princeton have studied this phenomenon extensively. They call it the decline effect. But Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years building the protocol to reverse it because he knew chosen ones needed a real lifeline. This is not another meditation app where you have to force your mind to be quiet. This is advanced brain entrainment. It uses specific audio frequencies to directly stimulate your dormant gamma state. I would never disrespect your financial situation. I know you have invested in countless programs and retreats that promised the world and delivered nothing. People pay hundreds of dollars for single biofeedback therapy sessions, and they pay expensive monthly fees for mindfulness courses that barely scratch the surface of true healing. But Dr. Lake wanted to make this completely accessible to the chosen ones who actually need it. Let me tell you the full story of what this restoration tool does. It is called the Genius Song. The normal price for this protocol is $49, but today it is just $39 as a one-time investment. You will never have to pay a recurring subscription fee for this access, and it comes with 4 additional bonuses worth $80 in total. There is absolute peace of mind here. You get a full 90-day keep the bonus guarantee. If you do not feel the profound shift, you can request a refund, and you will keep all $80 worth of bonuses as an apology for your time. The only real risk is choosing to stay stuck in the noise. Every day your gamma remains dormant is a day you live below your divine potential. Your future self is looking back at this exact moment, praying you make the right choice. Do not let the enemy convince you to wait another decade, but I must protect you before you take any action. There is a swarm of fake products online stealing this name, and they use empty audio files with no real brain entrainment technology. Imitation frequencies will only scramble your alignment. The only verified protocol is waiting for you in the first pinned comment below. Guard your spirit and only use the verified link provided. Please do not search for it elsewhere, because you will find ordinary audio dressed in real titles. If this message has been a balm to your exhausted spirit today, please subscribe to this channel immediately. Heaven is not done speaking to you, and you cannot afford to miss the next instruction. Place your hand on your heart and speak this out loud with me right now. I release the heavy burdens of my past, and I declare that my season of waiting is permanently over. I am stepping into the abundant timeline God prepared for me. Type "I am ready" in the comments to seal this covenant into your physical reality. Hit the like button so we can send this exact frequency to the entire remnant. Do not step into tomorrow carrying yesterday's heavy frequency. The protocol you need to activate your mind is waiting in the description below. Step through the door and claim your profound victory. May the peace of the Most High rest upon your soul, today and forever.